Hello, well I was very pleased with the first pair of shoes I made. I made life difficult. I went for the most bespoke, most complicated kind of shoes, but really pleased with the result. So I thought, yeah, I want to do some more. I'm going to do some very straightforward shoes. So slightly sort of wrong way around you might argue. I'm going to do some simple shoes for number two. See what we can do. So if you want to jump off the cliff with me, you can follow and have a go at making them as well. So what I thought to do is make something like probably a desert shoe, or chukka as they're sometimes called, chukka shoe or bootette sort of thing, something fairly cut down, fairly simple, nothing complicated I don't think with the sole. So intending to do something where you make the upper simple derby type designs, so that's with the wings. The last shoe I did was an Oxford, but a derby type design, and rolled over edge and then just simply stitched down and glued together. So really a lot simpler, but taking advantage of modern adhesives and the advances with modern adhesives. So I say it's nuts really, because the first one I did was really complicated, but hey, so that's the plan. Now I have ordered some lasts which have arrived. I have a box with my name on it, and in this box are some lasts in my shoe size. And I thought I'd better explain, because with the first pair of shoes, which actually do fit me really well, I made these wooden lasts. Now I always maintain with the wooden lasts, I'm pleased I did it, but I had one or two little problems along the way, probably of my own making. And my main, if you like, problem areas were on the toe. I had it sweeping in too much with the leather upper, so you end up with these rather bulbous ends, which I think in a way look quite attractive, but it made the stitching around to get the outsole on, stitching the welt round, really difficult. As you know, I had a battle with extraction, and in retrospect I should have cut my last breaking line the other way around. So I've got this like step here, which I thought I could just force it out that way. I should have cut it the other way and one could have just have lifted it out. So if you like, that was a learning point number two. I was always concerned about the volume here, and I did make them generous here. Now fortunately I had kept them fairly compact here where it grips your foot, so it's fine. They just feel nice and spacious and good for wide feet. But other than that, it was pretty okay. But it's quite interesting when you start to look at the commercial last, because when I made these wooden ones I didn't have any commercial lasts to look at, and it's really helpful and instructive seeing how a commercial last is made. So these ones are from Springline, who are a very established last maker in the UK, and it's a set of their student lasts. So you can specify your shoe size and you can specify your width, and you have a choice of styles. So I've gone for a fairly sort of typical shoe type style here, in case you're interested. That is the number, and you can look at it on their website. It's Springline, so that's spring as in the season, and then line as in fishing. Two separate words. I went for hinged lasts, so with quite a lot of effort you can break the last to get it out. Like that, it's quite stiff, but you see how it hinges and breaks, so that's quite handy. And I went for one which didn't have any plating, any metal sheeting on the bottoms. They're non-plated, and the reason for that is I want to be able to at a later date make some shoes and hammer nails in. So like I did on my wooden ones, all the little nail marks there. So what's rather nice, when you order these lasts, you actually get a last bottom pattern with your name on it. So if I can break this one back to where it was, clunk. If you lay this cutout on its base, you can see that is exactly what your sole shape and size is. What is quite interesting is comparing it to my own measurements, and I was actually very surprised that the heel area I've got pretty well exactly the same. Even the waist area here is very similar. Where it does differ is in the toe. So my one, I made it a bit shorter than this one by probably about ½ centimetre plus. Where they do differ more, these are a tad higher. The other sort of difference I noticed was I put in far more toe lift, another almost centimetre of toe lift, whereas these, the toe doesn't come up as high overall. And they're slimmer around this area, particularly down there. I got the offset roughly right. It was again quite interesting just seeing. I think just my whole toe area, the whole toe box area was far more spacious than it probably needed to be. Good if you have wide feet. But there you are, it's quite interesting comparing them side by side. So, should you make your own lasts? Should you buy commercial lasts? Choice is yours really. I enjoyed making my own lasts. I mean, if you have a bit of old fence post knocking around and you're fairly handy with the woodwork, then in some ways, why not give it a go? I think it's quite risky in as much as you're reckoning you can get the sizing right. I mean, I think for me, it was partly sheer luck as much as judgment that I got the sizing right. And I did, as I say, hit a few problems with the toe coming in and with it not being built up quite high enough. So, and the extraction, as you know. So it's not without potential problem areas, and you can get things like your heel not sloping quite right. One can not sufficiently undercut it into the waist. So there's plenty of scope to get it completely wrong. I mean, last making, it really is quite an accomplished art. But I mean, great satisfaction from making my own. I thought I'd go for commercial ones because obviously these people know what they're doing. They make, you know, thousands of lasts and they've got the science, the foot structures and everything pretty spot on. So it'll be good to try these and to see how they go. I think in some ways going for commercial last, I mean, they're not that cheap, but if you're happy making the investment, I think it's worth it because you're putting all the hours into making your shoes. If you've got the wrong shape to your last, you're going to have problems. Whereas if you go for commercial lasts from the sort of get-go, you are going to save yourself, I think, quite a few little bits of pain down the line. So I think my overall advice would be, if you're getting into a bit of shoemaking, try and get some lasts. If you buy them second hand, do be careful, because you've obviously got differences in sizes from different countries, like, you know, American size 9s are not the same as UK size 9s. Also, you'll find very often the width isn't always, you know, standard on lasts. You can just find the design of the toe area isn't sort of very modern or what you'd like to be wearing. So I think it's quite fraught with potential problems buying the second-hand ones. I'm not saying don't, but I'm just saying it's worth being careful, because if you intend to make a few pairs, then if you get a nice new one, you know it should be sized roughly right. So yeah, thoughts there on lasts. Well, I'm pleased I made mine. I'm just now going to enjoy trying the commercial ones and see how it goes. Shoe style, I'm going to be going for something like, I say, one of these chucker type boots. This one's a bit of a cheap one, to be honest with you, and it's not one I particularly like. So I'll go through the shortcomings in another video, but there are aspects I do not like about this particular one that I'd like to try and sort out when making the next. But anyway, that's a little intro to the project. Going to keep it really simple so that you can do it without many tools, and I'm going to use the commercial last and see how we get on with that. But I hope you found that handy and see you in the next video. Okay then, bye bye.